Welcome guys to the second episode of my teaching. To be learning on how to pick and drop a load. So if you're a complete beginner, I would advise you go watch the first one I made where you can identify how to use and all that. So let's get started. So we're going to start from the empty wood pallet first. We're going to use that to learn how to pick and drop a load. So to do that, we're going to drive to it, but at first, picking a load is through the use of our fork you see right in our front there, and our fork is being controlled by our levers. The fork you see there are being controlled by our levers. So where we handle our lever determine how we're going to pick the load. As first we position this way, then we can use this to raise it up. Push it this way, can tilt in this way, tilt out this way, side shift right this way, side shift left this way. Let's go and see how it goes. Alright, here we go. Before we pick this load, let's test how our levers work. So we're going to put it on neutral. We said to use our lever, we're going to go this way. Using our thumb to hold this way and our last finger to grip this other side of the lever. Then we use these two fingers to press it down, and you see how it's going. It has this limit in height. That gets to the limit, it's going to stop. And I guess this is the limit. To bring it down, we use our thumb to push it up this way. And you see it's coming down. There we go. There we go. Let's just stop here. Let's just stop here to just practice some stuff. To tilt out, we go this way. That's the limit it can tilt out. To tilt in, we push it this way. To side shift right, we go this way. To side shift left, we go this way. So we're going to bring it back to the middle. And then let's access this load. So what we do, we're going to push it down. Bringing our fork down to this height. So all we have to do, just have to set this fork properly. If not, we'll not be able to enter the wooden pallet. So we're going to tilt out a little bit. And we go. We can keep making an adjustment while accessing the load. The best way to access this pallet is entering it without the fork touching our pallet wood. That's the best way. And very good. So we just want to enter this pallet without our fork touching any part of the pallet wood. So we can just keep going and making an adjustment while we're going inside. While we're going inside, going inside, going inside. And here we are. We got it. We got it. Then we apply a brake stop, put it on neutral. Then we can now lift the load if we want to lift it this way up. You can also side shift right if you want to. Also side shift left if you want to. And bring it to the middle as usual. Because to carry a load, you have to aim it at the middle. So we're going to drop it, and making sure that our fork is free from the pallet while we're coming out. We don't want to come out and dragging the pallet wood. We drop it to this level. We tilt out to free the fork. Maybe we're raising a little bit, tilt out a bit to free the fork. We just keep setting it till when we feel we're free from it. We can go on reverse. And here we go. We're trying to go out from the pallet without any part of the fork touching the pallet wood. That's the right way we can do it. And now we are out. Yeah, we got that. That's way to operate this professionally. But it doesn't mean that sometimes accessing your load, your fork ain't going to touch the pallet, but it could do. But in some cases, you have the floor and balance. That's when you could see that. So, but to do this now, doing it this way is the best way. Let's give it a try again once more. We're gonna go and we'll get close to it. We put it on neutral, we stop, and we keep setting our fork again. We setting it, we use our side shifting lever to make an adjustment, and now we're going in. Now we're going in, now we're going in. Remember, we just want to go in, we don't want to fuck touch the pallet. Don't want to fuck touch the pallet, and then we're going in carefully. We're going in carefully, we're going in carefully, we're going in carefully, and we got there. That's it. Now we can go out. Going out, we don't let our fuck touch the pallet. And there it is. So we are done with this. We are gonna carry a load now instead. Let me take this away. We are gonna carry a load instead, and so let's get started. So when we drive and get to the load we want to pick, we stop, put it on neutral. All we need to do, we have to set this fork now. We'll set the fork that is so that we'll be able to enter the pallet, because that fork is being controlled by this lever. So the way we use this lever determines the way that fork. The way we're going to use this lever determines the way the fork is going to position. So we want to go into this way, into the pallet, not this way, not this way. We just want our fork to be straight and enter right into the pallet. So we're going to make some adjustments with our lever, using the first lever to drop our fork down a little bit. Then just drop it down a little bit. Then we use our second lever, which is our tilting lever, to tilt out. Now that's going. Now we're going, 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 going. Here we are. We put it on neutral, apply a brake. To pick a load, we simply tilt in back. We set this way, then we raise it a little bit. Just try to raise it a little bit from the floor. That's it. Now we can now drive carefully. While driving, we should be mindful of the load we are carrying, and also watching at where we are going, watching at the direction. You see, we should be mindful of the load we are carrying and also watching our direction at the same time. And also, we should also have this in mind when we are carrying a load such as this. Just watch it. At this time, we can't drive forward because we can't see front. So you don't drive forward while carrying load like this. Very, very bad. Drive with reverse so you can be able to see your direction clearly wherever you're going. You can only drive forward only when it's on an incline, maybe something like a hill this way. Then we'll use forward to go in and use reverse to come back. But on a plain ground like this, we should be mindful of the load we're carrying and drive with reverse so wherever we're going. So I'm going to show another example. We need to know about picking load, because not all load are mostly singly stacked. Sometimes there are some load that are going to be behind it. So let's drop this load in front of this one here, and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right. All right. You see that one right there. Sometimes some load are this way. So whenever I want to pick a load that there's another load behind it, you have to be careful. It's not just all about going there and lifting it, not tilting or whatsoever. So let's go in and see the difference how we're going to pick this load. If we enter this pallet, we want to carry this load, and immediately we get in there, we tilt. This is what is happening. It's trying to pull out the other load behind it, because when we got there, we are tilting immediately. It's trying to put the next load behind it. Watch at it again. We got there and now we are tilting. I see what's going. It's trying to put the next load behind it. You get, and with this, This load you can result to some form, maybe damaging a product. So I'll be showing us on how we can do this. Let's drop this load. And now, when we want to pick this load, all we do, we're just going to enter our load. Just maybe we're going to just enter it half of the load. Then lifting a little bit this way. You see, we lifted it a little bit, and now we want to drag it out. We're going to drag it out. You see, we dragged it out, and now we can just drop it here and enter our load fully, and then tilt in as usual and lift it a little bit. Now we can now go with it. So always remember, when there's a load behind the load you want to pick, be mindful of it. Don't just go in there and start lifting, because you could lead to damage of the next load behind it. So all we do, we're just going to drag it out a little bit, and then we can now lift. Remember, we use our tilting lever to balance it. If it's this way, you can't just traveling with a load this way and inappropriate. So we have to let the load balance by tilting in, bringing it forward this way. Listen it. Now our load is balanced. Then we cannot drive with it. Going wherever I want to go. But you can also make an adjustment depending on how the floor is. Maybe we're driving and maybe the floor, due to how the floor had changed the position or the balance of the forklift, you can just tilt that a little bit, tilt that a little bit. That's it. I remember when driving, we drive with reverse. We can only use forward to drive when we are on an incline. So that's that. Just as I said earlier, we want to pick a single load, there's nothing behind it. We'll just go in and pick it up freely by tilting in and then lifting it up. That's it. But if there was a load behind it, all we're just gonna do, we're just gonna enter it halfway. We're just gonna lift it up a little bit and then drag out this way. And before we enter it fully, tilt in and lift. And there we go. Thanks for watching. My name is Adrian Joffrey. In the next video, I'll be covering how to stack a height and also on how to load and offload a truck. We're gonna do that on maybe, I'll just say maybe two different kind of truck or even more than that. So all you have to do is click on the subscribe button. Click on my subscribe button so you could easily find the video whenever I post it. So you get in touch with the channel. All you have to do is click on the subscribe button. So whenever I post, you can easily find my video. Thank you for watching. Love you guys. Wish you all the best.